Alright, so I'm here with Patrick Little. He's running for state senate in California?
U.S. Senate. I'm running for Feinstein.
He's running for Dianne Feinstein's seat here in California. As a conservative, probably fighting an uphill battle.
As a Republican, I call myself counter-Semitic, not conservative.
Counter-Semitic, please explain.
Well, there's a secret behind communism. What we're seeing on the opposite side of the barricade here is communism. It's incitement against what was the founding stock of the country. So, if you look at Russia, 85% of the commissars or original politicians after the Bolshevik Revolution were Jewish. 85%. They were 2% of the population, or 1%. And Trotsky's real name was Bronstein, of Bronstein. He was from New York. He was, I believe it was close to 50% of the Jews that ran the Soviet Union were from the United States. So here what we see is a divide and conquer strategy. They want Americans fighting Americans. They want black against white. They want Hispanic against white. They want this country to tear itself apart like it did in the 60s so that they can rule in the ensuing chaos. There have been quite a few countries where this strategy is working.
They are communists, or who is they?
So they've got cultural Marxism as kind of a theology. If you look at the murals behind us, if you go through and do a little video of the murals, it's communist liberation theology. So after the Jews took control of Russia through the Marxist Revolution, the Bolshevik Revolution, they sent out then propagandists all over the world, mostly Western countries, and they sent Lithuanian Jews to South Africa. They sent, I don't know what, I think they were Sephardic Jews, they sent to Mexico and the Latin American countries, and they started inciting for egalitarianism, economic equality, all of these things, equality of outcome, and they had a revolution against the caciques, or the white landowning class at the time left over from colonial times.
You know a lot about this kind of history stuff. What are you planning to do with all this knowledge? What's your goal?
My goal is to inform the American public. I'm a white advocate, but I'd like African Americans to know a few facts too. So, for whites,
do tell.
So, 40% of the Jews in the South owned slaves before the Civil War. You know what percentage of ethnic European or white non-Jews owned slaves in the South before the war? 1.6%. So that's a 25 times more Jews per capita owned slaves than whites. And what you see is always the statistics about, Harvard is 70% white or something, but that includes both Jews and whites. So Jews are Semitic, they're not white. I don't have a problem with Semites. Actually, the Jews in Israel are trying to wipe out the Assyrians through ISIS.
So you would not describe yourself as an anti-Semite?
No, I'm a counter-Semite. When they try to subvert countries, I work against them. So 67% of the grad students are Harvard. 70% of the top-performing high school students in the USA are non-Jewish whites. But you don't see that in statistics. If you don't believe me, I want you to go to Hillel's website. They've got a list of the top colleges for Jews to attend. At the top, or near the top, is Harvard University. They brag that there's 67% of the graduate students at Harvard. And they teach cultural Marxism there. Same with Columbia. It's close to the same percentage. The incoming class of Harvard for 2017 was only 12% white, ethnically European. We're 70% of the top performing high school students. Now, if there's 67% of the grad students, do you think they're leaving much room for African Americans, Asians, whites? No. But the ones taking the biggest brunt of this Jewish supremacism are the whites.
Definitely, I get a lot of what you're saying. Definitely doesn't sound diverse to me. It sounds like a monolith of one race. But I must ask, you sound a lot like Paul Nehlen. Are you familiar with Paul Nehlen?
Yeah, he recently took the red pill on the JQ. So he read Cultural Critique. That's also the book that got me a year ago. I was a conservative before that. And I really would advise reading that book. Cultural Critique, it talks about how the Jews work together as a race, and it's not all of them. It's not like they all meet up in the synagogue every Saturday and plan to dominate the world. But there is an international clique of Jews. Soros, Zionists, the banks, the media, are all controlled in the interest of Jews as a race. And they don't view themselves religiously. If I was Jewish, ethnically, I could go to a synagogue and lead prayer, lead a Shabbat service, and I could be openly communist, openly atheist, and Jews are able to be openly atheist and communist and still lead a service at the synagogue.
Okay, so, Nehlen and I, we had a little bit of a spat. I kind of just was asking, why do you continue to talk about Jews when you're trying to win an election out there? So my question to you is, in California, running for the Senate seat out here, obviously, you might not be trying to win per se, as opposed to making an impact.
Try to win.
What kind of impact, or how do you think you can win? Do you think there's a path to victory, given your outspokenness on the GQ?
Yes, well, it's a question of our time now. So 10 years ago, there were maybe 10,000 Americans who knew these facts. There are now millions of Americans of all races that know about Jewish supremacy. I mean, I've met David Duke. He's a great guy. He has no hate in his heart.
But you don't disavow David Duke?
No. He's against hatred. He's against racism. If you listen to his show, he's never said a mean word since he was maybe like 20 or something. And he has said that him joining the Klan was the wrong way forward because there were violent chapters. He tried to start a peaceful chapter, but realized there's no distancing yourself from an organization that has violent parts. He's a very peaceful man. I met him at show. It's a very nice old man.
Okay, so I noticed over there, we were happened to be on the other side at the same time. They were screaming at me, they were screaming at you. What do you think about what they're trying to do, or how they're doing it? They don't. It seems very divisive that they don't want us here in the park, and they're yelling, take the F back to your side. What do you think about what they're trying to accomplish?
Well, like I was talking about the Jewish supremacists, it's divide and conquer. So you've got a lot of U.S. citizens over there. They're not all foreign nationals illegally in the country. There are U.S. citizens over there. They've been brainwashed. You go to college and you learn to hate white people, not you specifically, but that's the indoctrination. White people are fault for everything, the legacy of slavery. They don't want to tell about the fact that 25 times more Southern Jews per capita owned slaves than whites. And that whites were the first race to end slavery. Whites are responsible for the ending of slavery in most parts of the globe. And actually, the current capital of the world for human trafficking is Israel. That's where they break the Eastern European women that go to work in bordellos. And you can verify this. Look it up with UNICEF. They did this.
Definitely, I'll be looking it up. I'm pretty sure our viewers will look some of this stuff up.
The transatlantic slave trade of Africans was run by Jews. The slave markets in the South were closed on Saturdays, not Sundays, and that was for the Jewish holiday, not for the Christian.
So my question is, where is your campaign at currently? Are you going to be doing some events coming up, or do you have? What do you perceive in the future for so people can keep tabs on you and kind of follow what you do?
I've got a website, littlerevolution.us. I also have a Gab account. It's Patrick_Little. What I really want to do is just have conversations. I would love for a student group to invite me to speak. I'd love for African Congregation Church to invite me to speak. I'd like to spread the news about Jewish supremacism so that we can work towards ending these divisions that are designed to destroy the American nation.
Well, definitely think that you have some very interesting views. Some of what you say I disagree with, but a lot of what you say definitely have a lot of volition. So I think, conversations are good. I'll keep in contact with you. Maybe you and I can do some sort of debate on the Jewish question. I'll take the alt-right side. You can take the...
You don't have to label yourself. You can just be an individual that has beliefs. And I tell you one thing, I've got a lot of respect for any journalist or reporter that's willing to discuss these topics, because they're rather taboo. But I feel after a proper debate, if one is objective, they'll wind up siding with my perspective. But I have respect for others' perspectives so long as their platform isn't just shutting me down. I've been kicked off from Twitter. I did a protest in front of the Twitter headquarters. I was debating whether or not the Holocaust happened as it's described in the Jewish media. There's no evidence that there were ever gas chambers disguised as shower rooms.
Do you think Auschwitz is real?
Auschwitz is a place on the map, yes.
But
it was an internment camp, no different than the ones we had set up here for German, Italian, and Japanese boys. They had a swimming pool, they had ice cream, they had sports clubs, they had a hospital where they birthed children there.
Oh, this is better than my gym. Yeah. Where is this place? Auschwitz?
Auschwitz. And in Poland, the Polish government recently passed a law against blaming Poles for any type of Holocaust. So Israel flipped out. Find that story. There's a story on Reuters about that. But the Polish government, after they liberated themselves from the Soviet Union, put a plaque under the gas chamber sign in the showers, and under the sign that says gas chambers is the sign the Polish put up that says never used. So what's a shower that was never used as a gas chamber? It's a shower. Now, you hear about this figure of 6 million Jews that died during World War II that were gassed by Germans, right? 4 million of them were supposedly gassed at Auschwitz, we were told in the 60s and 70s. Well, now they no longer claim that any Jews were gassed there. The number remains at 6 million. I mean, if you have a number and you subtract 4 million from it, it should become a lesser number.
What do you think is going to happen when you go to some of these, California meet the candidate type forum events and you're kind of interacting with the establishment of the GOP? Do you see that to be a concern, or do you think you're going to get shut out?
Let's just say I've got some accidental death insurance.
Well, Patrick Little, folks, accidental death insurance, running for Senate, Dianne Feinstein's seat in California. Check them out, Gab account. Definitely thank you for giving us some words.
Thank you. I appreciate your time, sir.